I'm high because I have a kid. Every second I'm not around her, I'm high as shit, so it's good to be back here. I'm like, oh shit, y'all are people. What's up, y'all? Hey, y'all understand what I'm saying? Damn, that's crazy. I'm around this 1-year-old who just looks at me. I'll be saying funny shit and she'll just look. I'm like, damn, you don't get it. It is cool. It's cool to have a 1-year-old. Like, she's, 3 months where you're a little worried because babies kind of suck for 3 months. Hell yeah, you got kids, You don't, but you just know. 3 months. There's 3 months where you're like I think every parent who left, like when dads leave, I think they left before 3 months. Because you get to that 3-month mark and you're like, she smiles and you're like, oh, I'm gonna stay. All right, cool. But before that, you're like, I kind of get why somebody would go. This is boring. There's not much going on. I get it if you walk, But I tell those dads, if you just waited 3 months, you'd have been like, I could be a dad still. But it's also weird because I didn't have sex ed, so I didn't know anything that was going to happen during pregnancy and birth. Everything was a shock. Because I'm from Chicago, I went to Chicago public schools, and they just didn't teach us sex ed. They didn't care. I remember they went and took the girls in another room and weighed them, and that's... Is that not normal? This was 5th grade, and he took them in the other room, and they came back, and I was like, what'd you guys do in there? We didn't do shit. And this girl was like, oh, he weighed us. And I was like, I think you should tell someone. I really didn't know the process of having a baby at all. I genuinely, they told us about classes, but we had our baby during quarantine, so I can go to those classes. So, they had him on Zoom. And I didn't pay attention, so you can order sandwiches while you're going in class. I'm fucking this off. But so I'm sitting there and I'm sitting in that class. I'm not paying attention. My wife is not paying attention. We're both worried about what bagels we're getting. And then we get to the day that the baby's about to come out, and I'm like, shit, I didn't learn anything. I just watched Knocked Up twice. And I was like, that must be what it is. I watched Knocked Up. I watched 9 months. I was like, that's what the baby shit is gonna be like. I'm just gonna watch those and be cool. And one thing they lie about is there's those scenes in those movies where they grease up the belly, then they put a little machine on the belly, and then that's how you see the baby. And that's not how it goes. At all. They told us for years that's how it goes. You grease up the belly, put the little thing on the belly. So my first Ob-gyn trip with my wife, I'm in there and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what's going on. There's all these tools that look weird, and they're telling me all about the woman's body. There's all these charts about women's bodies I had no idea about. I was like, the pussy's where? But surprised I had a kid. That's weird. Wow, I didn't know it's underneath, you say. No. But I'm watching that, and then I'm looking around. I'm just taking in the whole idea of the Ob-gyn. I've never been here before. This is wild. And then the lady comes in and she's like, hey, I'm the Ob-gyn. I was like, yo, what's good? And my wife was like, he doesn't talk like that. I was like, I'm trying to impress, relax. Yo, what's good? I've been here before, I know what's up. And then she's just like, all right, you guys ready to see the baby? And we're like, this is so exciting, I can't wait to see the baby. And then she pulls out this 14-inch dildo and just holds it up in front of me, and I was like, what's about to go down? What's happening here? And she's like, all right, we're gonna see the baby here. And then she puts a condom on the dildo, and I was like, is this what always happens? And then she puts a bunch of lube on the dildo. She's like, we're ready to see the baby, and she's putting all this lube on, and I kind of winked at her. I was like, hey, you don't need all that, you know what I'm saying, play? But how you think the baby got here, dog? But she's good, trust me. So she takes all this giant looped up dildo and is like, all right, let's see the baby, and just stuffs it right in my wife, just like that. And it's cool because I'm seeing my baby for the first time on the screen, so I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm seeing my baby. She looks great. I haven't forgotten what's happening here, though. I do need help understanding why you're fucking my wife. Right in front of me. I'm here. You know I'm here, right? I can see this. You're fucking her. I didn't think I was a cuck. I guess I don't know. I don't know if I like this. This is like interesting. Like, it's a girl doing, I don't know, like, I had pictured a threesome way differently. Not in this office. This is like, I'll work with this though. So she's fucking my wife, and I'm watching my baby. And I'm like, it's the most beautiful moment in my life, and this is happening too. But then I started thinking, because I'm like, every guy who has a baby is, when their wife's pregnant, you think about like, oh, I don't know if I want to have sex with my wife because I don't want to like tuck my wife and then have my baby see the dick. It's like, I don't want to go in and then touch the baby's forehead or whatever. Like, I've talked to a lot of dads who really believe this. And the thing is, I've seen this instrument that kind of gets there, and all of us are good. Like, none of us. This thing was 14 inches. It went all the way in and kind of saw the baby. So I'm like, we're all good, trust me. This thing didn't even get a good picture. It went like 2 feet. I didn't know you could go 2 feet in. And it was like, I was like, damn, she's hitting all the angles. Wow, she's good. You're coming over again. No. And I was like, how long y'all been doing this? This is weird. And then you just learn about the stomach and shit, and it's like, wow, it gets smaller. No class at all. I had no classes. But that's the first lie about kids. They tell you that you're gonna see a baby and somebody fucks your wife. You're like, this is cool, I guess. My wife are in that stage now where we do talk to text too, because we're both old, and well, she's not old, I am old, and I act old too, so that helps. But I act older than I am, but I have fun with it. That's why I'm able to wear short sets, like 65-year-old grandfathers showing up to picnics, like, yeah, what's up, young player? Yeah. Recently, I've been saying young blood, so that helps with my age thing. But yeah, we talk to text now, and she talks to text from the other room. And it's just weird, because I'll hear her go, can you bring me diapers? And then I'll get a text like 1 second later, like, why'd you do this? Yes, I will, I guess. I don't know. Like, why'd you text me? I found out I was Chinese during the pandemic, too. It sounds weird, but I'm Chinese and I didn't know. I mean, I kind of knew. Like, we did Ancestry.com and it came back like, you're Chinese. It doesn't just say that, but there's other stuff. That'd be the best Ancestry.com ever. Like, hey, you Chinese, dog. But it's like, damn, this whole time, I didn't know. But all the results came back and it was like, you're like 20% Chinese. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I've been using that a lot. Like, I was in an Uber and this guy was like, yeah, I'm just trying to get my citizenship, man. I got here, I got the test on Monday, I think I'm ready. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. My great-grandfather had to like get his citizenship too. You know? He came here from China. And he was like, oh, damn, I didn't know they had black people in China. I was like, nah, he was Chinese. He was like, oh, but they got like Africans in China too. I was like, they might, but he was Chinese. And he came over here and had babies. And then I'm here later. It's weird also because the only reference point I had was like old pictures I would see, and you'd see a picture and I would just look at it and I'd be like, hey, Grandma, he's Chinese. And black grandmas will not admit anything. So she just looked at me and went, we black. And I was like, I know, I'm aware, we're black. But this guy's Chinese. I'm looking at him, that's a Chinese guy, for sure. She's like, no, we black. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but like, I'm looking at these pictures, man. Like, are you guys fucking with me? I see Chinese people in these pictures. And then finally I found out and I was like, oh, okay, we are Chinese, okay. So those guys were Chinese, and I can't get a straight answer from anybody over 65. They're like, no, we black. I'm like, yeah, you keep saying that. I'm like, but he's Chinese. She's like, no, they got black people in China. I'm like, why does everyone keep saying this? They might. I'm on Comedy Central Asia a lot too, and that came up. Like literally, if you check, I get tagged in the Comedy Central Asia post. Some of the people who work here must know. But I've been tagged a lot in the last year, and I'm like, do they know? Like, who told them? I didn't tell them. I saw Cats over the pandemic too, and I'll leave with this. I thought it was gonna be good. I will say, you guys have seen Cats. Like, there's New York 1 commercials every day for Cats, and so I had this idea, like, oh, if we go see Cats before the end of 2019, let's go see it. It's gonna be great. And I'm sitting down in the theater. I'm just realizing I don't like cats as pets, so this might not go great for me. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, let's just see. So I smoked a blunt and like ate 2 edibles, and I was like, this could be good. And then this cat comes out, and it sings and dances, right? And then it goes back inside, and I was like, ooh, I hate this. Didn't know this was gonna happen. Then this other cat comes out, and it sings and dances, and then it goes back inside, and I was like, strike 2. And then this third cat comes out, and it sings and dances, goes back inside, and then that happened like 65 more times over this 5-hour span, just these cats coming out and me hating it. And the lady next to me was crying, and I was like, are you crying because this has no fucking plot? Like, what? Why aren't they interacting? Talk to each other. Why are there cats in the aisle now? I hate cats. Like, get them away from me. And I realized my issue with the whole thing overall. Like, I sat through the whole 5 hours and hated every second of it, and I realized what I hate. And I know I like things written by people who smoke weed. And that's like almost everything I've ever seen. It's things I've written on, like kids shows. And you're like, which makes sense if you really think about it. And it's like, yeah, okay, these things I get. Like, you're written by somebody who smokes weed, I smoke weed, we relate. But Cats was written by people who are clearly on cocaine. And I think that's the issue. I don't do cocaine that much, so like, I don't do it at all. I don't like it. It's too upper. I'm very low key. It doesn't make any sense for me, and I don't like cocaine shit. So like, I realize, you can tell it's written by somebody on cocaine because it's about cats. Every cokehead I know has a cat. I don't know why that's the case, but that's the case. And also, it's a play full of 65 introductions, and that's very cocaine behavior. We've all been to that party like, hey man, I met you, it's all good. You're good. I know you. Yeah, that's your name. Cool, I'm gonna go over here, yeah. You put a bow tie on, you're still the same guy. I know. Mephistopheles or whatever. All right, you guys have been great.